Let me guess. You meet someone, and it hits you fast. Within days, your brain is already writing the story. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is finally my person. You replay every text. You overanalyze every emoji. You feel this crazy mix of excitement and fear, like you're standing at the edge of a cliff, and part of you wants to jump. And then, if it doesn't work out, it feels way worse than it should. People tell you you barely knew them, but your heart is grieving something that felt real. If that's you, you're not dramatic. You're not needy. You're not crazy. There is a psychology behind why you fall in love so fast. And once you see it clearly, you can finally stop blaming yourself and start understanding yourself. Today, we're going to break that down. Let's start with something simple but uncomfortable. People who fall in love too fast usually aren't just excited about the person. They're attached to the feeling, that rush, that intensity, that relief of finally not feeling alone. Psychology has a word for this: limerence. It's that obsessive, euphoric crush stage where your brain basically locks onto someone like they're oxygen. You check your phone 30 times an hour. Reread conversations. Imagine future scenarios that never happened. Feel anxious when they take too long to reply. It's not just romantic, it's neurological. Your brain starts releasing dopamine, oxytocin, and adrenaline all at once. So when someone finally gives you attention, validation, affection, especially if you've been starved of it, your mind goes, "This is it, don't let this go. Attach now, fast." It feels like love, but often it's relief. Relief that someone sees you, relief that you're not invisible, relief that maybe, finally you won't be abandoned again. So you don't just like them. You latch onto what they represent. Not a person. A promise. Nobody talks about this part enough. The way you fall in love now comes from the way you learned to receive love then. If you grew up with emotionally distant parents, inconsistent affection, love that came with conditions, or caregivers who were here one moment and gone the next, your nervous system learns something very specific. Love is rare, unstable, and if you find it, you better hold on tight, or it disappears. So now, as an adult, someone shows you a little kindness. They listen deeply. They say they like you. They text you good morning, and your inner child panics, in a good way and a bad way. We found it. Don't mess this up. Fuse with this person. Don't lose them. Fast love is often old fear in a new costume. It's the little version of you who didn't get enough consistent warmth, speaking through adult feelings. That's why it feels so intense. You're not just falling for them. You're trying to heal something unfinished. And this is why when they pull away even a little, your world caves in. Because it doesn't just feel like rejection now. It feels like rejection again. Here's a question most people never ask themselves. Am I falling in love with them? Or with the escape they offer from my own life? When you fall in love fast, it often happens in seasons where you feel lost, lonely, disconnected, stuck, or deeply insecure. Then someone appears. Suddenly, texting them feels better than dealing with your own thoughts. Planning a future with them feels better than facing your present with you. So, what looks like love is sometimes avoidance distraction. Temporary break from your own unresolved pain. It's not your fault. This is how the brain works. When your inner world feels heavy, it will grab anything that feels lighter. And new romance is one of the strongest painkillers the mind knows. But painkillers don't heal, they numb. So you get stuck in a cycle. Meet someone, feel the rush, attach quickly. Reality hits, it collapses. Feel empty, repeat. And each time you say, "What's wrong with me? Why do I do this?" But the better question is, what am I trying not to feel? That makes me so desperate to merge with someone else. People will say, "You only knew them for a few weeks. Why are you so upset?" But here's what they don't get. You weren't just mourning them. You were mourning the future you built in your mind, the feeling of being chosen, the version of yourself that felt worthy when they liked you, the brief safety you felt when you thought, "Maybe I won't be alone anymore." When you fall in love too fast, you don't just attach to a person, you attach to a fantasy, a story. So when they pull back, ghost, or just don't match your intensity, it's not just the loss of a short connection. It's the death of a dream you already emotionally moved into. That's why your grief feels oversized. You're grieving. The good morning texts that never happened. The trips you never took. The inside jokes that never had time to exist. The version of your life where things finally worked out. Of course it hurts. Of course it feels heavy. You poured a lot of emotional energy into something too small to hold it. You're not overreacting, you're just reacting to everything you invested that they never even knew existed. Psychology has a framework for this. Attachment styles. If you fall in love too fast, there's a good chance you lean anxious, preoccupied in attachment. What does that look like? You crave closeness and reassurance. You worry they'll lose interest easily. You overthink small changes in their tone or response time. You feel too much very quickly. You're not broken. You're wired to scan for signs of rejection before it even happens. So the moment someone shows real interest, you rush to secure the connection. If I just give them everything now, if I love them enough, they won't leave. The tragedy is, that urgency can feel heavy to the other person, and sometimes the very thing you're doing to keep them close slowly pushes them away. But here's what I want you to hear clearly. Your attachment style is not a life sentence. It's a pattern, and patterns can be understood. And once they're understood, they can be changed. Not overnight, but step by step. So what do you actually do if you're tired of falling in love too fast and breaking your own heart? You don't have to stop feeling deeply. You don't have to become cold or detached. You just have to build a different way to move. Here are some gentle shifts. 1. Let people earn access to your inner world. Instead of giving someone your whole heart by week 2, give them your curiosity, your attention, your presence, not your entire future. Ask yourself, do I like who they are, or do I just like how they make me feel right now? 2. Notice the fantasies. When you catch yourself imagining weddings, trips, babies, anniversaries with someone you just met, pause. Tell yourself, this is my brain seeking safety. I don't have to move into this story yet. You're allowed to enjoy the feelings without building a whole life around them. 3. Build a life you like, even without them. The more empty your own life feels, the more pressure you'll put on love to save you. Work on friendships, hobbies, goals, your relationship with yourself. So when someone enters your world, they're joining a life, not becoming the life. 4. Ask, how do they treat me? Not just, how do they make me feel? Fast love focuses on intensity. Healthy love focuses on consistency. Pay attention over time. Do they show up when it's not convenient? Do their actions match their words? Do you feel safe being yourself? Love that lasts and doesn't rush. It builds. If you fall in love too fast, you've probably called yourself a lot of names. Clingy, obsessive, crazy, stupid for catching feelings. But what if you're not too much? What if you just never learned what it feels like to be loved safely and slowly? So now when your heart tastes anything that looks like connection, it runs. Not because you're broken, but because nobody taught you how to walk. You're allowed to feel intensely. You're allowed to want deep love. You're allowed to crave connection that feels like home. All we're doing now is learning to protect that heart a little better, to give it time, to let people show you who they are, to let love be something that grows, not explodes. If this felt like I was talking about you, it's because you're not the only one who loves too fast, and you're not alone in wanting to do it differently. If you want more videos like this, deep dives into the psychology behind your heart, your patterns, and your pain, you already know what to do. Like if this made you feel seen. Subscribe if you're ready to understand your mind instead of judging it. Thanks for being here, and next time your heart starts sprinting, remember, it's okay to ask it to walk.